Hi, this is Murray from Murray's 2TT, and today I'm going to do like what I said I was going to do on my last video, and that is to talk about the parts that I got from my NAS system and explain a little reason why I did some things one way and some things another way. But I'll try to make it shorter than what I've been doing because this video is getting long. So anyway, so let's just start off with saying that I'm getting parts to be able to upgrade my home computer, and I'm getting parts for the NAS. So I'm taking those parts together and making a NAS out of it. And then after I finish updating my home system, then I'm going to get the proper parts for the NAS, the ones that I don't have, because I don't need some of the parts because it's overkill for what I need. So anyway, so the first part that I got was this, and this is overkill for the NAS. This is a Corsair CV550, which is a 550 watt 80 plus bronze power supply, and you don't need this much for the NAS. Probably like a 450 power supply would probably work fine, and probably 80 plus white would be fine also. The reason why I got this one was because it should be able to run the system that I want to make for my home computer. And if this one doesn't, I have an EVGA 600 watt 80 plus bronze also. So depending on which one I need, I can swap them around to whichever system. And this one was $74.99, so $75 for it, Canadian. These prices are all going to be in Canadian because I didn't look at it as a thing to make a video on. I was more looking at the things I was going to buy for the best price I could. And sometimes they're not the same things in the States, the same product in the States as in Canada. It might be a different brand power supply that you get at a better price there. So I couldn't really do that. So I just did it for myself, like type thing, for my NAS. And because I was also making it kind of half and half between my home system upgrade and the NAS, then, well, it's kind of not the way you do a NAS. So anyway, so I got that. Now, normally I buy EVGA, and I checked the EVGA one for 550 watt 80 plus bronze, and it was over $100. So that's why I say that's a pretty good buy. Now, the next thing that I got was the CPU. And this is the best priced new Athlon, or newer Athlon in Canada. This is the 3000G. The older I don't remember if they're 200 or 2000 series for the Athlons. I think they were 200. They were locked, and right now the price on them is like really high. It's over $100 for them on Amazon. I found this one for $79.99 on Newegg. I had to pay a little bit of shipping. It was either $4 or $5, can't remember, but I won't get into that. And so for $80, it's a awesome deal in Canada, and it's 2 cores, 4 threads, and it is Vega 3 graphics. So I don't need to buy a graphics card. It has it built in, and you don't need much of a video in order to be able to work. And the graphics in here is overkill for a NAS, and even the CPU is overkill for a NAS. And like I said, this is overclockable too. So there you go. Now, this part is the part that I had the biggest problem with, was because this is an MSI B450 Gaming Pro Carbon. It doesn't have the word Max on it. And there's a whole thing on what Max is on an MSI motherboard. And basically what it is, it's the B450s and, and the 320s, the A320s. And what they do is they double the size of the BIOS chip so that you can have more room to put more of the CPUs in your BIOS, so that it's going to be compatible with the 4000 series Ryzen and hopefully not lose any of the backwards compatibility to the older Ryzen CPUs. If you leave it at the 16 megabyte, which this one is because it's not the max, then what they're saying is that you're probably going to lose some of the older Ryzen capabilities on this board, the older generations, and some options that are on some of the CPUs. So I really wanted a max, and I thought that's what I was getting for some reason, and it was $169.99, and so I got it. And then whenever I got it, I was thinking, okay, I'm getting the max. I opened it. Oh, it's not the max. And after I looked back through it, I went, why did I think this was the max? So anyway, so the one I was talking about all the time was one tier lower than this. And basically what it is, it's the Tomahawk. So it's the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max is the one that I wanted. And I couldn't find the Tomahawk. I couldn't find the Tomahawk Max. I couldn't find the Pro Carbon Max, but I did find the Pro Carbon. So that's what I got, $169.99. Then I found out that it wasn't really the thing that I wanted, so I put in a return on it because it isn't really what I wanted. Because I want this for my home computer, and I want it to be upgradable to the 4000 series if I want to at a later date. What I really want to do is put a 3900 or 3950 in it. And on Hardware Unboxed, Steve did a bunch of testing on the VRM and said that it was good enough for 3900 for sure, and probably a 3950 as long as you don't overclock it. And when they put, now I can't remember if that was for the Max or if it was for all of them, but the Max version, I actually found one after looking for, oh my God, it was like 3 weeks. Amazon, it came up, and I actually have one on order, and it's coming. I've got the little thing there saying that it'll be here in about a week and a half, and it is the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. If I am able to find this one in the Max, I may upgrade it to that, but I'm already happy that I'm getting the Tomahawk Max, the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. So there's my story on that one. Now, the next thing is memory. And the memory that I got was from whenever I made my system quite a while ago. They weren't talking too much about dual channel memory, and they weren't talking too much about speed. And I think it was because it was an Intel system. And I really didn't want to get an Intel system because I heard of the new Ryzen system. And after that, I had found out that the dual channel system was better. So at the first, I ended up buying this. And what they were suggesting back then, and I got the R7 1700, They were suggesting 2666 megahertz, and but they were suggesting dual channel, and I only had the one, and I bought an 8 gig. So I was going to buy a second 8 gig, but then I found then the memory prices were quite high, but the memory started to come down. So whenever I went to change it, I got a better 16 gig kit for only about 40% more than what I paid for this stick of memory. And this one is a Ballistic Tactical, was it by Micron? And I think it's CL16, yeah. And so I had this one left over, so it's not costing me anything extra to put it in this one because I already bought it and I wasn't using it for anything. So that's good. Extra parts that I didn't have to pay for. Next thing that I didn't have to pay for is this, which is the SSD. And the SSD is the one that I have a video that I'm changing the boot drive on the Lenovo ThinkPad T430 laptop that I got. And it came with a 120 gigabyte drive, and I wanted to put a 480 gig in it, so I did. And so I'm taking that drive that was in there, and I'm going to use it as my drive for my NAS. And this is fine for what it is, because this is a QLC drive, which isn't all that great, but it's okay. Like, it's good enough. But it doesn't need to be all that, like, really, really good, because it doesn't use it that much, like the NAS system. It's made to work with hard drives, which are extremely slow. And these things are like 10 times faster than a hard drive. So, like in burst mode type thing. So when they first start, so it'll be fine. I know it's QLC. I know that it's got a lower total terabytes written on it, and I know that they were really cheap. I think about a year and a half ago when I was buying the 120s, I think they were like $29.99. They're probably up higher than that now, but that was pretty much when I got the lowest amount. Well, I think it was $29.99 Canadian price. All right, so that's what I'm using for that. Now, the next thing I bought, I wished I would have listened to Wendell on Level 1 Techs before I bought these drives, because now I know I probably didn't do it right. So what I ended up getting is 2 of these drives, and they're NAS drives. They're Toshibas. They are 4 terabyte drives, and they're the NAS N300 ones. And basically, after listening to him talk about things, there's 2 systems that he suggests to use if you're building your own NAS. One is FreeNAS, and the other one is Unraid. And from those systems, and I think I'll probably end up going with one of those, but right now I think all I want to do is maybe a RAID, so that I just have one 4 terabyte drive and the other one as a backup, like just making it like a mirror copy of it. I'm going to start off doing that because I want to get the 2 drives. If I know now what I knew then, I would have bought 4 2 terabyte drives, not 2 4 terabyte drives, because I don't need a huge amount, because I'm just a small channel, and like really small channel, and I only have like the stuff for the house to go on there too. So that's it. And I'm not talking much. I doubt I'll even hit, if I put everything on there right now, I don't even think I'd be using 2 terabytes. Probably 1.7 terabytes is what I'd be using right now. But as I make more videos, like each video is 3 or 4 gigabytes. So, I mean, it does add up whenever you have quite a few videos. So it will add up. So the last thing that I have is the case. Now, this case is only for when I have 2 drives. When I have more drives, I have another case for that, but I'm using it right now. My Threadripper is inside there, so it's housing my studio computer. But it's not meant for that. That one can hold 6 drives. It's got 6 drive cages in it for the 3.5-inch hard disk drives. So that's why I bought that one. So I'll have to be swapping cases around and stuff like this whenever I do it. But this case here is not an extremely expensive case or anything like that. It's just an inexpensive case that I got with a build that I had bought. And it is a Masterbox 5 Lite or Masterbox Lite 5. I'm not sure which one it is. It will hold 2 3.5-inch drives, and it will hold an ATX motherboard because this is a mini tower case. So that's all I need for my NAS to start off with. So that's what I've got. And the place, I'm not going to take it apart because I'm going to make a video on building it, sort of, or half building it. And they just go right in here because there's a little drive cage that's too high right there. And that's all I need for that. So that's why I'm just going to use this old one. So that's basically where that came from. So that's not really costing me anything either. So, and then later, whenever I start swapping the cases around, stuffing the systems around, I'll probably end up having to buy another case. But hopefully the cases will go down by then. I just hope so. But that's, like I said, 12 to 18 months that I'm guessing it's going to take me to finally get everything done the way I wanted it done. Because I'm trying not to put too much of a timeline on it. So that's my video. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. I'd like to say keep safe, keep social distancing, keep well, and thank you very much for watching and listening. See you next time. Bye.